Your mouth is a window into your health, and oral health is far more important than most of us think. We experience 1,000 waking minutes on average every day. How are you spending yours? I'm Dr. Wendy Bazilian, and you're listening to 1,000 Waking Minutes. I can't wait to connect with you here with practical ways to eat well, move daily, and be healthy, to optimize every waking minute you live for a happier, healthier life. Thank you for sharing some of your waking minutes with me today. Let's get started.
I'm saying yes to better days, yes. I'm on my way, yes. It's gonna be okay, yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to 1,000 Waking Minutes, where we talk about how small everyday choices can have a big impact on your overall health. I'm your host, Dr. Wendy Bazilian, and today we're diving into something that may seem ordinary, but it's anything but. And it's about oral health. Yes, your mouth, and specifically flossing, and why your mouth is more important than you think. Spoiler alert, it's not just about your big, bright, beautiful smile, though that can enhance your overall well-being as well, and it's a great bonus. Today, it's about your whole health, from heart disease risk to inflammation, your digestion, and yes, it all starts in the mouth. Now, you might be thinking, Wendy, flossing? Really? And yes, really. I promise it's more fascinating than it sounds. And by the end of this episode, you might just find yourself reaching for that floss with a little more enthusiasm. And if not enthusiasm, maybe a little less dread. Either way, it's a win-win. I've got some great research to share, some tips, and even, yes, a few personal stories to go along with it. I've sort of always had a thing for teeth. And more recently, it started up again, thinking more about it when my daughter started losing her baby teeth. It brought back lots of memories of my own childhood and my long journey with braces. I had braces starting in 5th grade for 2.5 years. And I had a brief respite. Then I had them on again for 4 years. It was a lot. And to this day, as a result of that long time and long commitment, I still wear my high school retainers to this day. No shame here. I literally have them. And each time that I transition to a new dentist, they sort of look at it as if we're looking at, into the vaults of history by looking at the retainers that I have maintained and continued to wear since high school. When I was a kid, we had those red staining fluoride tablets in school. Do you remember these? I don't think they have them anymore. In fact, I just checked in recently with the school system, and it doesn't seem like that's a thing anymore. Maybe the dyes in them were problematic, but here I stand today. I've survived. But those tablets, I remember we would chew on them, and they would sort of show us where we weren't brushing well enough. And it was like the world's most embarrassing dental report card. But hey, it worked. Worked for a time, and it showed us what was what. Funnily enough, my husband, Jason, and I actually had the same orthodontist growing up as well. We lived in different towns. We didn't even know each other. We went through braces, never having met later. But the Seidman brothers were our orthodontists, and we learned that years later, smiling at each other probably. I've sort of romanticized that scene. So small world there. And then, the tooth fairy. Oh, that wonderful tooth fairy. My tooth fairy brought me real silver dollars. And it was so special. I remember, and I still have, a couple silver dollars from 1922. They were actually silver. I remember the excitement of finding those under my pillow, the letters I would write to the tooth fairy, the joy of the curly lettering that she would write back to me, and that passage of time. So fast forward to current era, And I just have to tell you that I love my dentist. Dr. Zimmerman is her name. I know a lot of people don't share the same affection with going to the dentist. I sort of wonder at dentist tolerance for this, because I know that they are often feared, even dreaded. But today we're going to take a look at a few aspects of oral care and how it relates to our total health, and why a few of our waking minutes should be renewed and rededicated to something like flossing. It's so much more than just something to avoid the guilt when you go to the dentist next time. And I hope to convince you about that. So let's talk about why oral health isn't just about your teeth. Your mouth is a gateway to your overall total health. It's where everything begins. It's where the food comes in that we eat, the drinks that we take in, even the air that we breathe. And it's the start of what's considered a regional immune system, our entire mouth and our gut. Think about this and the impact that all starts at your mouth. Oral health doesn't just start and stop in the mouth either. It can affect your heart, your digestion, even diabetes risk. And there's some associations that have been made with certain kinds of cancer as well, although the mechanisms aren't clearly known. So the role of your health of your mouth impacts the entire health of your body. When we think about heart disease and diabetes and even respiratory issues, we may not immediately think of oral health, but it can play a major role. In fact, a friend of mine had a serious health scare not too long ago. She was in the hospital actually with a sort of mysterious blood and heart disorder. And as the doctors continued to investigate and couldn't quite discover the source, they finally discovered it was linked to gum disease. They applied remedies, they took care of the oral health issue, and she got better, thankfully. But neglecting your gums can literally be life-threatening, as I found out with my friend. It's not all doom and gloom, though, and hopefully I can help you prevent some of these issues. So your mouth is where digestion starts. In one of our episodes, I talked about regularity, and we talked about how among the 27 feet of your digestive tract, it all starts in the mouth. It's the only place where you have these white, enamel, hard substances for tearing and grinding and chewing and chomping. And then it goes down and you have to leave it to your body chemistry to figure the rest out. Even if you're eating all the right foods, you need to make sure that your oral health is supporting your digestion and your overall well-being. And the idea of brushing and then flossing is critically important. And most of us brush regularly. Some of us floss regularly. And I'm going to encourage those of us who don't floss regularly to do more. Think of it this way. You wouldn't paint a fence and skip the edges between the pickets, right? I was trying to think of the analogies of what flossing is like, and the picket fence came to mind. And of course, when I think of picket fences, I also think in literature about Tom Sawyer tricking his friends into painting a fence for him, where he made it look like, if you'll recall, the most fun job in the world. I certainly know that Tom Sawyer, like many classic works, has certain aspects that are being re-examined, understandably, and challenged, especially in relation to race. But this particular scene, if you recall, with the picket fence, if you've read it, or pick up the book again if you choose to, it's such a fun moment of resourcefulness. And it pops into my head when we're talking about flossing, because sometimes you have to make the ordinary just seem more appealing. And that's what I'm trying to do with you today. So flossing is sort of like that. The key part of keeping the whole system healthy, even if it's a small part of our everyday routine. And every little bit counts in our 1,000 waking minutes. So now we're going to dive into the ROI, or the return on investment. In other words, the benefits of flossing regularly and keeping your oral health in good shape. Later, we're going to go into some practical tips on how to get the job done. But first, I want to convince you about the why. The number one benefit, of course, is to keep your teeth. Flossing can help prevent periodontal diseases that cause the breakdown of the bone and tissue that hold your teeth in place. Once your gums start to go, so do your teeth. And you don't want to end up with dental implants. Or if you've had any, you know you don't want to have more. Not only are they expensive, and I mean very expensive, but as someone who's been through years of braces, I can tell you it's no fun to have that kind of work done when you can avoid it. The second benefit is a healthy heart. Did you know that people with gum disease have up to 2 times the risk of heart disease? That may seem like a strange connection or association, but several studies have shown the same. Reviews, in fact. This is not a small number. And in fact, the research has shown an increase of at least 20%, up to 2 times the risk of heart disease if you have poor oral health. One study published in the Journal of Periodontology found that chronic inflammation from gum disease is a key factor at increasing heart disease risk. Several mechanisms have been proposed. It's not known conclusively why or how, but the American Heart Association and other agencies have said that even though it has not shown to be causal, in fact, that poor oral health causes heart disease risk to go up, there is a statistically significant connection. That's big news. Heart disease is our number 1 killer. And we know that poor oral health can increase inflammation. And we know, at least by a few potential mechanisms, that the mouth may play a role in increasing that risk. The third benefit of flossing and keeping good oral health is enhancing your digestion and nutrition. The mouth is the only place, as you know, where we're able to insert food, chew, and kick off the entire digestive system. Keeping it healthy, keeping your mouth healthy, in other words, not only helps digestion, but it can help how well your body can process and break down your food for your overall health. Losing your teeth or the ability to chew properly can lead to nutritional deficiencies, and your body then can't process the food it needs to get enough nutrition. In fact, as we age, oral health is a big determinant of overall health in assessing nutritional status, especially in seniors, outside of independent living, but also independent living. Another benefit is fighting inflammation. So I mentioned inflammation, but gum disease contributes to chronic inflammation, which we know is linked to everything from heart disease, as I mentioned, to diabetes, to arthritis, and potentially certain types of cancer. Flossing helps remove the bacteria. There's lots of bacteria in the mouth, lots of it, and it's a moist environment where bacteria can thrive. You want the right kind of bacteria, and you want to process through the bacteria that actually, and to move it out, the bacteria that can cause inflammation can grow. And if you do that, it can keep the overall mouth and whole body healthier. Another benefit is respiratory health. Harmful bacteria in your mouth can also move on and enter into your lungs, potentially leading to infections like pneumonia. This is particularly important in older adults or people with a weakened immunity. So it sort of makes sense. Hopefully, as these are stacking up, it sort of makes sense. We have such an open door to bacteria in the outside environment that we really owe it to ourselves to take stock and keep it in good working order. Preventing diabetes complications is yet another benefit. Research published in Diabetes Care found that gum disease can make it harder to control blood sugar levels. So that could create a dangerous cycle for people with diabetes. So it could be the inflammatory process. There's other things going on in the mouth, but gum disease can make it harder to control blood sugar levels, and therefore individuals who have uncontrolled diabetes or trying to manage diabetes can really struggle. And finally, no guilt at the dentist's office. And I do not want to underplay how important this is. Your dentist can tell if you don't floss. And on the flip side, they can tell if you floss as well. Why don't you go for those bonus points? Regular flossing will not only make your checkups less cringeworthy, less painful, but it will also make your dentist proud. And I think that that's a win, especially for me who loves my dentist. I like to make her proud. So now we're going to take a mindful minute together as we do in each episode. This is our opportunity to take stock of one of our 1,000 waking minutes today. It's time to give us a little space to breathe and to reflect. And as we breathe, of course, we're breathing in and back out of our oral cavity, including our nose and our mouth. So today, let's take this time to pause and reflect on little things that make a big difference, like flossing. Wherever you are, I invite you to check your posture, be relaxed, but in good posture for breathing. Maybe roll your shoulders back, sit up straight. And if you're in a safe space to do so, you might close your eyes, not if you're driving, of course. And we'll be taking a deep breath in just to prepare. Take a deep breath in and out through your mouth. If you're driving or walking, you can still join in by bringing a little more awareness to your breath and your posture. This mindful minute is going to be about gratitude. We're going to find appreciation for the small things, like flossing and other small habits you might not think much about, but make an additive and a pretty big difference over time to your health. As we spend this minute together, think about one small habit you're grateful for in your day-to-day life. It doesn't have to be flossing, just one small thing that you're grateful for in your everyday life. Now let's begin. Take a deep breath. And with each breath, think about something small you're thankful for. And smile. Part of your mouth. Just relax into this moment. Note the interior of your mouth. Maybe you're salivating a little. Your mouth may be warm. You know, it's the first stop of receiving nourishment, and we need to take care of it and be grateful for that. Notice how you feel in your whole body as you reflect on your small moment of gratitude. One more deep breath in. And there we go. It's amazing how just one small pause, 1 minute of reflection can have such a big impact on how we feel and how we approach the rest of our day. Thank you for sharing that mindful minute with me. Now let's get back to our conversation about oral health. So we've talked about why flossing matters and why your oral health overall matters, the ROIs. And we're going to segue into practical tips in a moment. But let's dive into another way to support our oral health, and this is through the foods we eat. Did you know that certain foods can sort of act like Mother Nature's floss? For example, apples and celery have fibrous textures that can help naturally clean your teeth as you chew. It's like a little mini scrub down for your teeth after a meal. Literally, nature's floss. And here's another one of my favorite tips that usually gets a few good nods because of what I'm about to say. But enjoy cheese after your meal. Sort of like the French. Is that the cheese course? You heard that right. Research shows that cheese can help protect your teeth from acid erosion. So hard cheeses in particular can help stimulate saliva. It's called a sialagogue. Stimulate saliva, which can help wash away some of the accumulated carbohydrates, sugars, and other things in the meal. It also can help restore minerals because of the nutrients in cheese. If that's not enough, it also has a more alkaline pH, which can help bring balance to the acidic environment that's created in the mouth after you eat. So that's kind of a triple win for cheese, you might be surprised to have learned. Other great foods, because those of you who know me know how much I love nutrition and foods that do things for us while tasting delicious. Strawberries. Strawberries are packed with vitamin C, which is critically important for gum health. And some have said that there's some active ingredients in strawberries that may help even whiten our teeth. I'm not 100% sure about that. I have seen a little bit on that, but I would stick to it primarily for that vitamin C for gum health and other great reasons that we love strawberries. Leafy greens like spinach and kale can provide some plant calcium, which can help with our bone health. And after all, our teeth are a type of bone, enamel bone. Both of these, strawberries and our leafy greens, are great for gum health and keeping those pearly whites strong. So now what about drinks? I often get questions about what to drink, how it impacts your teeth. Flat or bubbly, okay. A little bit of myth busting here and hopefully providing a little bit of support for what can work. Number one, drinking a little water after your meal can actually help wash away some of the particles that have been in your mouth and help rebalance the pH in your mouth a little bit quicker. When you eat any kind of food, your mouth becomes acidic for a period of time, and then it comes back to neutral. Doing a sort of a water wash or a few sips of water after and swish around is actually a really good practice. Flat versus bubbly. Bubbly water can be slightly more acidic. And if you drank a lot of it, like all day long and only bubbly water, then perhaps it could increase the acidity a little bit in your mouth. If we're talking about sodas that's sugar sweetened, that's a whole different subject, and that actually can cause or at least increase the risk of dental caries and cavities. But it's not the bubbles, it's more the sugar that's doing that. You can, and most dentists in the American Dental Association have said that bubbly water's fine in moderation. So I want to myth bust on that one. And then finally, people will sometimes say, well, should I brush after a meal? And I would encourage you, if you want to brush after a meal, just don't do it right away. When we eat food, our mouth becomes acidic, like I mentioned before. Our teeth become a little bit more porous. They're like a living tissue, actually, and they become a little more porous, my dentist has shared with me. And you can actually cause a little bit of erosion by scrubbing them too soon. So if you want to brush after a meal, just wait a minimum of 15, more like 30 minutes, until your mouth sort of recovers after the meal, gets back to its normal pH, and then if you choose to brush or floss, then that's a good time to do it. So remember, we want to eat well, we want to drink and rinse with water, and we want to keep our mouth healthy from the inside out with some of our nutrition. So let's get practical. How can we make flossing part of our daily routine if it isn't already there? Or how can we make it more regular? So I hope you're sold on the importance of flossing, and let's talk about how we can make it an active part of our 1,000 waking minutes. Fitting in the small habits can have these big payoffs that I always like to talk about. So here are some tips. One is habit stacking. I don't know if you've heard that phrasing, but I also call it like aligning your behaviors. Pair flossing with something you're already doing. So think about something you're already doing every day. If it's appropriate, while you're brewing your coffee, maybe go into the bathroom and floss in the morning. Or when you're waiting for your skincare routine, like if you have something that you have to wait or you're putting on a mask in the evening, floss while you're in the waiting period. What other times? Sometimes I pair a little bit of evening or morning exercise with it. So if you're stretching, or if you want to do some heel lifts for your calves, or some glute squeezes, or practice a balance exercise, you could do that potentially while you floss standing at the counter. It can be a win-win by habit stacking or pairing or aligning your behaviors together so that you make them associated. It's not just remembering, but you very concretely associate one behavior with another. It may be a fitness goal or something else that you're already doing. Two birds, one stone. That's the thinking there. Nutrition again. I mean, why not bring it up again? Cheese. If you like cheese, and I hope you do, that's a tasty one. After your meal, especially a meal that might be more on the acidic side, a little more full of flavor, the hard cheeses again is one way to nibble, to put an end, like a period or an exclamation point on the meal. Maybe you pass on the dessert at that time, and it can help neutralize the acid in your mouth. Like I said, help restore the enamel a little bit and help neutralize the pH in your mouth. Try Mother Nature's dental floss, apples and celery that I mentioned before. If you don't like stringy floss, think of Mother Nature. Use the things that, I always say Mother Nature had a plan. Use things like a crunchy apple with the peel. We've all gotten a piece of peel stuck between our teeth before. You know that can actually work. Celery and apples are sialagogues. They stimulate saliva so they can help move things through. They help while we're chewing, sort of scrubbing the teeth a little bit, and they can be really helpful. Plus, they're full of fiber and water for good nutrition and all the other reasons. So when you're choosing a snack, you can think about how it could do double duty for your teeth as well. I don't know if this one will connect with you, but make flossing like a treat. You might upgrade your tools. If you grew up sort of dreading the floss around your fingers and trying to get your hands inside your mouth, there are a lot of different types of floss out there these days. There's sort of minty flavored ones. There's some coconut oil infused kinds. There's some with tea tree oil. There are little tools that are single use that you just sort of stick between your teeth and pop and pull and go, so you can scrape your teeth that way. And there are beautiful gadget-oriented ones, the water flossers, the vibrating flossers, and others. So those cost a little bit more, but if they encourage you to do it more, then I say invest. So take advantage, and you might just have to check. If you've been doing the same thing for so long, you don't even know what's out there, you might have to survey what the options are and experiment a little to find your fit. And then don't forget water. Water everywhere. It really is nature's mouthwash. It's the easiest, most natural way to care for your mouth. Water can swish through, it can clean and cleanse, it hydrates our body, it moves bacteria through and out, it can rinse away the food particles, it can do so many good things for us. And when it comes to your waking minutes, a quick swig of water takes only a few seconds. You'll even have time to spare and makes a world of difference. And finally, I'll just mention, set yourself up for success. Keep your floss readily available. Keep it in places that you're less apt to forget. Maybe you like a clean countertop, but if you're going to remember better for keeping it out, do it. Pull out a piece of floss in advance. Hang it over your toothbrush if you need to remind you later. Make it happen. Just practice some of these reminder tools that I very often will share. A little note right in the middle of the mirror where your eyes meet would be another good tip if you're really trying to get into a regular routine with flossing again. And that rounds out the tips to get you flossing more for better health. I'm going to pose a reflective question for today for you to think about within your 1,000 waking minutes. What's one small oral health habit you could add to your daily routine that would have a big impact on your overall health? Again, what's one small oral health habit you could add to your daily routine that would have a big impact on your overall health? If you're already doing some of these, pat yourself on the back. I'm sure that you are. And keep in mind, whether it's flossing or adding a floss-friendly food like celery or apples to your day, whatever it is, start small and build up to the habit. In looking at our oral health and the fact that our mouth is a gateway to our overall health, I'm going to give you one more tip, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. What does that mean? Almost as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, floss at least one time each day. 2, 2, 2. Brush your teeth twice a day for at least 2 minutes and see your dentist twice a year. 2, 2, 2. And 3, of course, enjoy at least 3 meals and maybe some snacks a day to support your nutrition and overall health that starts in the mouth. Thank you for spending some of your waking minutes with me today. I hope this episode has inspired you to see flossing and your oral health in a whole new light. If you enjoyed this episode, I'm always grateful for you to leave a comment or share with a friend that you care about. Let's keep spreading the word together about the small changes that can lead to big health benefits over time. Until next time, be well. Thank you for tuning in to 1000 Waking Minutes. A huge thank you to our amazing collaborators, including our production and marketing teams, and Gabriela Escalante in particular. To the ultra-talented Beza for my theme music, my lifelong friend and artist, Pearl Price Photography and Design, to Danielle Ballantyne, Jen Nguyen, Joanna Powell, and of course my family, and everyone working tirelessly behind the scenes. And to you, our valued listeners, I so appreciate your support. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving a comment, writing a review, and giving 1000 Waking Minutes, that's us, a 5-star rating. And please hit subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you enjoy your podcasts. Please follow and stay connected at wendybazilian.com. And don't forget to share with your friends. Your support helps us grow and bring you more great content. Until next time, find some simple opportunities to optimize those 1000 waking minutes each day.
I'm saying yes